And welcome everybody to RCM On Tap. Give me just a second to figure out why exactly the guys are muted again. Hold on. Oh wait, there you are. There you are.
Woo!
It's just because you were being so freaking quiet. That's why. You weren't muted.
Oh, did the whole countdown.
I know, right?
Yeah, we were waiting on you to start.
Well, last week, I think what happened was I had when Winamp is up, it takes over you guys talking, so it was still up, and then when I shut it, it didn't actually shut down, so they were actually muted by the patriarchy for a little bit, and I thought that was amazing. But yes, welcome to RCM On Tap. It is Friday. It is May. It is hotter than shit in Cleveland, but you know what? We've got good friends. We've got good stuff on tap for tonight. We've got drinks all around. As Bio takes a sip.
I have nicotine.
Yay!
Yeah.
And we've got Varyar as our fourth chair.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
For those of you who have never seen On Tap before, I am the Baroness. I am the moderator of our 60-ish minute roundtable discussion where we talk about all sorts of topics that are on the minds of RivalCast media staff and personalities. Joining me as always, BiomedAlchemist and Killer McCoy. And, as mentioned, it's a Varyar double feature tonight.
Sup?
You look like you're having such a fantastic day.
Pretty happy about things. I mean, fuck. Done with work for the day.
Woohoo!
I have shorts on, thank God. Oh, my feet stink, but they're out and free, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's cooling me down a little bit.
Alright.
Good thing they haven't invented smell-o-vision yet, then.
Well, you know, it's good for you.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Long day.
A long week, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had the
Yeah.
12-hour game stream, Wednesday into Thursday, too.
Wednesday.
So that did...
We went 11 and change, but...
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Dude, it was
Yeah,
like
it was close.
3:15 in the morning. I was having trouble staying awake, and it was only like... It was people that were in the TeamSpeak talking
everybody
to me that
in
were
TeamSpeak,
watching, so I'm like,
basically.
fuck it, I gotta
That was
sleep.
all that was left. Oh, and he gave an amazing send-off. He was like, that's how I'm ending all my streams from now on.
Yeah. New RCM send-off is fuck off.
Fuck off.
I hate all
Thanks for watching,
Click.
fuck off.
Oh, that customer service.
So, Killer, Bio, what have you been up to this week? I've been kind of out of TeamSpeak for most of the week, so... Between Baron issues and work issues, and... It's summertime now, baby.
Yeah.
I'm running around the neighborhood. The neighbors think I'm amazing because I sing and dance as I'm going along, and they don't know that I'm... Well, I think they realize I'm on my headset at this point, but yeah.
I would hope. Otherwise, they just think you're, crazy person.
Yeah. Well, they already know I'm a crazy person because I would still go hiking around the neighborhood when we had 2 feet of snow and it was like 6 below zero, so...
Yeah,
they are aware of my presence, believe me.
Yeah.
So much. Wrong. Well, it's been raining down here almost like every day for the last week, so...
It's about to get here.
Yeah, enjoy our rain.
Yeah. It's going to be like the whole weekend, apparently. Thunderstorms and all that, because there's, tornadoes and all that going, have been this week and then tonight, apparently.
You guys are in the dark red. I was keeping an eye on that earlier today. Mm-hmm.
This is where we need to play the theme to Halloween.
I know, right?
A storm is looming.
Really?
Alright, so we should probably talk about, topics and things. So, again, welcome to Varyar.
Yeah.
So, we had a question for you, and I don't know what the answer to this question is. But when we were in the future, when we are talking to Porkchop, an interesting question came up about how we got our gamer tags. And I was always curious, how did you come to be known as Varyar?
How goddamn. Well, I've only ever really had 2 gamer tags.
Mm-hmm.
I've had Varyar since I was like fucking 12 or some shit like that. I got started on well, no, seriously, I've been Varyar for literally almost as long as I can remember. I used to be like when I'm fucking way back when. like my first big book was The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy.
Good book.
I
book,
was, I think, 8 when my dad put that in my hand. Shit, they're coming for me.
I can hear them
What'd you do
too.
this time?
But I was probably 8 when I read The Hunt for Red October, and then over the next year I devoured like everything Clancy had written, including the lesser known and lesser acclaimed works of the Cyber Squad thing or whatever the hell.
Oh, that
Yeah,
one, Net
yeah.
Force.
Yeah,
Mhm.
NetForce.
NetForce.
So
Yeah,
my
I
first
remember that
gamer
one.
tag was
I read
based
those
off
too.
that, and then I was a huge Tolkien dork. When I was like 12, 13, I found that was literally when I found, because until then I'd read all Clancy and Dale Brown and books like that, and I
Dale
didn't
Brown.
really get into sci-fi and fantasy until about 12, 13, and when I did, I got way into Tolkien. And, like, way into the Tolkien. I mean, most people, sure, have read Lord of the Rings, but I had practically memorized the Silmarillion.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, I got, like, heavy into it. And Varyar is a bastardization of my first name in Elvish. And I've
Really?
used the same exact gamer tag since I was about 13. Yeah, exactly.
One of us. One of us.
Exactly. But that's where it came from, and then...
Interesting.
yeah, I never changed it. I've always used it, and it's what people know me as anymore, so why change it? It
Yeah.
works.
Exactly. You've got some good personal branding around that, so it's a good thing. Oh, cool. I always wondered, and I never got around to asking you, so cool.
Yeah.
All right.
No, my first name is Raymond, which, if I recall correctly, means mighty protector / wise counselor. And in Elvish, that is Namavaryar. So
Stop
Varyar.
laughing, killer.
My middle name's Matt, gift from God. Perfectly descriptive, I think.
Why, mine's first name is Matt, so... Booyah.
I'm Matt 1, you're Matt 2. You have to
No,
be number 2.
no.
Yes, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No. Hold on. We can determine.
Is this going to turn into
Are
a
you
Scrubs
Matt,
thing?
is
Hey,
it
number
Matt
two.
with 2 T's or 1 T?
With 2 T's, duh. Because I'm not some godless heathen.
Just checking. Because what's funny is I know another Matt, or Matthew, he spells it with 1 T.
Really?
Yes, really.
With 1 T?
1 T.
I knew
Interesting.
something like that too.
So
What
how
a
is
prick.
life in the Wheel of Time? Who the hell spells it with 1 T?
I don't know.
I know a guy too who
Yeah.
spells it with 1 T.
Yeah.
Ah,
But the funny thing is we always called him Floor Matt because the Matt is spelled with an M-A-T. I was always known as Gamer Matt
I like that.
Wow.
because I'd play the video games. But the joke was between him and me, he's like, you know, actually, in reality, I'm Matt 2.0 because it's 2 T's instead of 1 T.
I'm okay with you being number 2.
Okay, but I'm 2.0 though.
I'm fine with that.
No, I'm just
Okay,
hearing
then.
number 2 is all I'm hearing.
Look,
Wait a minute.
Original
Wait. Time
Coke,
out. Wasn't
new
he
Coke.
going on pre-show about being number 2?
Not new Coke.
You
No.
heard that.
No.
You heard that, Bio. You were here. Just saying, you're the
I've
one who
seen a
started.
lot of things in my life. I was here for this. I was here when Gabe Newell got downvoted to crap on Reddit. I've been through a lot this year.
God. One day they'll look back on your memoirs and think, what an accomplished man.
No, they're going to
He's
look and
seen
say, like, he's
so
making
much.
half of this stuff up. Like, no, I was there.
Why do you think I
swear.
Twitter pick everything I do now? Because people thought I was just making this shit up. No, this is the world that we live in, Bio. It's not like everybody else's world. It is a much more interesting world, and that, my friend, is why we write fanfic about it. Yes.
It's like, guys, I swear, I'm not, at this point, I hope that telling a tall tale or embellishing becomes known as Brian Williamsing, if you will.
I was
And
there,
they'll be
dude.
like, I swear,
was
guys,
there.
I'm not Brian Williamsing here.
We gotta work that in somehow. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I'm gonna have to just start that one, I think.
Beautiful. All right. Well, cool.
The kids will call it B-dubs.
God, I hope not.
Jeez.
Yet another reason to hate the youth.
B-dubs is something completely different up here, so
I'm sure it
it
is.
is.
I'm sure it is.
the preferred chicken place of the Baron. So.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Huh.
Mhm. All right. So let us get into our main topic. And
Yes, we have topics.
Yes.
let me preface this by saying that this is either going to be an amazing long conversation, or we're gonna sizzle it.
Or it is not going to be okay.
Because we were, like, the guys were so excited when they came up with this idea, and we were all gung-ho about it, and then when we were doing our pre-meeting, because we had our our pre-meeting late this week, because,
Yep.
So
You
we
guys did it
were
Tuesday.
like, that's okay, because we've got the topic down, and we've got, we can talk about this, and I think everybody thought that everyone else had a lot more to say about it. And then,
Well,
yeah. So
Yeah.
then,
there was a little bit of that and a little bit of we wanted to avoid, because in the initial context we were talking about Civil War again. It was just like, people are being stupid enough to each other on social media right now. Let's not talk Civil War per se.
Yeah.
Bring on the hate.
see, I told you he would be all about that, but no, I got.
Just remember, children, the hate is like a blanket. It keeps me warm.
So our introductory question, as it is, what is your favorite alternate history universe and why?
Ooh.
So this started off with a conversation about various book series that we read where, somebody goes back in time or an alien shows up and tweaks one thing in history that then causes a chain reaction for everything that happens after it. So, well, we let you think about this, Varyar. So some of the things that we came up with now, and it was kind of difficult because, 90% easy of what I read, and I read constantly, but 90% of it is nonfiction. So the only one that I could come up with is actually something I haven't read myself. Sorry, I write
Classy
fiction.
as always.
I write fiction, but yeah. The Lost Regiment was a series that Baron's dad loves, and it's a series about a Civil War regiment that gets sucked to I don't know if it's in the past or the future. They get sucked to an alternate universe on Mars, where the Russians are also there and they've enslaved people, and it's this whole series based around what they do to.
I'm assuming if we've colonized Mars, it's probably future. Probably.
Well, it's not us; it's the Russians. So I don't know.
Yeah, they did have that 1400 space program, very successful.
That's why we never talk about it. That's Varyar. That's why we call it the Red Planet.
Oh,
Now
I
you
see
know.
what you did there.
Now you know.
Well, now we need a new war. Communism can't be allowed to win.
No.
Oh, of course not.
Let's go and list Varyar.
So that
As soon
was,
as I get powered armor, I'm going back in.
yes. We can launch from Killer's moon base.
There we go.
Perfect.
I forgot that the moon base is supposed to be a secret. So,
It's an open secret. No one likes to talk about it.
It kind of is. We kind of invited Total Biscuit there the one day too.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Long story behind that.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
yeah.
move
On
on.
Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
So,
Continue the shit show.
yes.
Wow, really? We're a shit show now. Great.
I didn't mean it
Little,
Yeah,
You know what?
no,
Yeah.
you meant
That's
it.
you know what? Yeah. That's exactly what I meant, Killer. Shut up.
Anyway, that was the one series that I could kind of sort of talk about, and I haven't even read it, so. This is where my co-hosts kind of are supposed to talk about their stuffs.
Well, co-hosts. Yeah,
Alright,
looking
go
at you.
ahead.
Hacks, if you're still listening, I still need that little hand slapper thing where I can push the button and it whacks them from afar.
Really?
Just like,
Really?
your turn, whack!
Go ahead, Bio.
No, I'm trying to think of
Shove it in
one.
there.
So I have a couple of them that I liked, but the more I thought about them, it's not where someone goes back and tweaks something in history. It's more like if things continued a certain direction. So one of the series I've been kind of looking at, well, there was Axis of Time, which we did talk about a little bit. That one, I've not read into it enough to really talk about it. It's a cool premise, though. It's the idea that a naval fleet in 2021 is working on time travel technology, and the whole fleet gets sent back to World War II
And probably
at
whoops
the
the
Battle
shit
of
out of
Midway.
everyone.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it's the idea of they show up in the middle of the Battle of Midway, and how
Nagumo
history-
wets himself.
but it goes into the details of like what changes in the world because of it. Because obviously the battles are probably not as difficult as they,
No.
No,
not at all.
But
No.
then it turns into different things. So what happens if now this 2021 technology falls into the Russians' hands or something?
Oh, okay.
Just,
Right, that's sort of
I don't know if
interesting,
that theme is per se there, but there's the implications of what happens moving forward because of all this advanced technology. Plus, they're trying to fix this technology because, of course, with time travel, it always seems to break the first time.
Yeah.
You got to repair it in the past,
Oh, back to the
I'm
future.
sorry. I'm just distracted now. I'm just imagining what would happen and how it would play out if, like, a modern naval battle group showed up at the Battle of Midway. I can only imagine the conversation would go, "Admiral, we appear to be surrounded by small fishing boats. Oh wait, those are tiny aircraft carriers." And then
Biplane? Oh my god.
yeah, missiles
is
and
that the
F-22s
Yamamoto?
and all sorts
We'll
of
see.
shit. Yeah. A flight of F-35s finally built and operational in 2021, which is
Please,
just totally
2021,
fiction.
not going to
Total
happen.
fiction. Yeah.
That's science fiction within itself, Varyar, having that up by 2021.
I think they'll probably mount the railguns on the DDXs before we get an operational F-35
Oh,
squadron.
God,
Yeah,
let's
I
not
think
even get
so,
into that.
But that would be cool, like
Yeah.
the 4 aircraft carriers of Nagumo's striking fleet sailing there, and all of a sudden there's a DDG next to them, like, fuck them, light them up. Captain, they're dive bombing us. Well, the Sea Whiz will take care of them.
That escalated rapidly.
Yeah.
Very.
It's in my head. It's glorious.
Yeah.
Very.
Well, and I'm gonna be. I've actually talked myself into reading that series just from that premise because, yeah, it's obvious there's going to be a raffle stomp, but they've got to make a conflict. They've got to make it more difficult on the protagonist than just that.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I mean,
And-
I guess once parts run out, sure, then it gets tricky. But until then, the
Dominance
Fucking-
is just...
Well, it's
Yeah.
parts, and
battle group
there's,
runs wild.
there's going to be people drama, probably.
Of course.
Roosevelt's trying to give some 2021 admiral orders, and he's like, "I don't respect your authority, motherfucker."
Like, that's cute. I know your entire war strategy.
Yeah.
Studied it in the naval school.
Even the secret stuff.
It's like, yeah, I know you guys are working on that A-bomb, too.
Witchcraft.
So, what time tomorrow is Doolittle's raid set to go off? How did you know about that? It's top secret, dude, from the future.
From the
Doolittle's
future.
raid happened before Midway, though, right?
Or Midway?
Yeah, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
I thought it happened. Doolittle's raid was like right after the raid of Pearl Harbor.
No, no.
No.
No, damn, I gotta look it up now.
No.
Yeah, look it up, but
Doolittle
I'm pretty
was
sure, I mean,
44?
Was it? No, it wasn't that late.
As they all start Googling at the same
Yep, gotta
time.
know. Oh yeah, it was 42. How about that shit?
Midway was? I mean,
I
I
knew
knew
it
it
was,
was
like,
shortly
right
after, but
afterwards.
not right after.
I didn't think it was.
Well, in the context of a 7-year,
Yeah.
6 or-
Okay, so it was April.
Hmm.
It was in April of 42, so it was right before Midway.
yeah.
I thought it was later.
All right then.
All right then. Fuck them.
In chat,
Oh.
Sam Miesa
Damn
is.
you, Sam Asa. That was.
I was going to let that be a lead-in for Killer. Sam
God
Miesa
damn
is
it.
agreeing with you, Killer. You should talk about this now.
I should, but the problem is the history. The alternate history. Not it really was an alternate history for Robert Hyland. Is his future history series because it happens in the future because he wrote stuff that happened for him like 10 or 20 years after he wrote it. Stuff happens.
Okay.
So technically, it's not really alternate history. It's more of a speculative science fiction. Although I thought about as that being my example of my favorite alternate history, but it doesn't quite meet the criteria of what alternate history is.
See, and that's where my other example was.
Yeah,
too.
because I don't read that much alternate history. I just don't. I don't. It's cool
I
and
could
everything.
think
I
about
don't read
but
it.
I
Yeah.
don't read as much.
But I did have an example that I did like.
Yes.
And it was a video game I liked very much, very, very much back, oh my god, before the 2000s, is the Battle Zone. As everyone goes blank on that. Even Varyar.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know
I've
that
not
one.
played it, though. I've definitely heard of
that
it.
name, but yeah.
Yes. Varyar's thinking about I think you might know it. You might know it. If it helps you.
Oh, hell yeah, I know that.
You know that Battle Zone?
Yeah, absolutely.
The one I remember playing back from 1999 is a kind of not so much a remake, it's a new imagining of the original 1980s Battle Zone arcade game.
Old school as fuck.
I think that's how I remember it.
Yes,
Dude,
everyone
I
remembers
loved this game.
Yes. What was so cool about this one in this game is right after World War II, several meteors land on Earth. And of course, the Americans and the Soviets are, against each other in the Cold War. But there's something different about these meteors. They are dropping this material called biometal, but have very specific characteristics that make them very valuable as weapons. So of course, everyone starts scooping them all up. And we decided, instead of trying to just build weaponry from that, we build spaceships to go find more of it throughout the solar system to fight the Soviets. So that it goes from like 1960s I think is where the game starts. The entire space race is just a cover for us trying to go get the biometal.
Oh.
Yes. So of course
Interesting.
we're fighting the Soviets on the moon, on Mars, on Venus.
As we should.
As we should.
Naturally.
And I think several of the moons of Jupiter. So.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Yes, very. Number 2 wasn't as good, though, sadly. Not that I can remember.
No. First one was awesome.
Yeah. But that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah. It probably
Come on,
hasn't
killer, play
aged
it
well.
now.
I thought about it. I was like, oh my god, I should
He's
try
gonna
this
boot it
again.
up in the middle of our episode, and we're just gonna lose him. We won't even get to the other questions because it'll just be like watching Killer describe what's on the screen.
I'm flying a tank on the moon, building a moon base.
Sam Miesa in chat is writing that Sliders and the Justice League Flashpoint are the three ones I can think of. I think I missed a point there, but okay. So anyway, Sliders and Justice League Flashpoint.
Well, I think the multiverse, Sliders, and
Justice
Justice League Flashpoint are the three he can think of, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, the multiverse.
There's some I can kind of think of, but at the same time, it's not like a history tweaked per se, like Quantum Leap. There are changes, but at the same time, the whole thing is you've got to make sure that history happens the way it's supposed to, kind of thing. Although I think they had a few episodes where there were arguments like, no, this is wrong, screw history.
Yeah, and it's kind of, that show is kind of weird because if you think about the intro where they're explaining what the premise is all about, it even says verbatim in there, striving to put right what once went wrong. Which indicates that there would be a change taking place of some sort. So, I don't know. I know...
Yeah. Well, I know he ran into several scenarios where it was just like, hey, you wouldn't split up with... Either his wife died or split up with him or something. He was like, I could fix it! kind of thing. And it's like, really? You're gonna do that and, risk what else in the process? No, sorry, not worth it.
That actually segues into our next question, but before we go there, Varyar, did you think of anything that you wanted to add for our...
Oh, I've known my answer to this question since it came up.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me guess. Let me search your mind. Does it involve the 1950s?
No.
No?
No.
No?
Not even close. Would you like to give some more?
Fail!
No. Fail, I completely failed.
I mean,
all right, Varyar,
I have literally nothing else to do if you'd like to continue being wrong, because you will never guess this.
No, I'm actually intrigued now. Go ahead, sir.
Despite my hatred for his politics, Eric Flint is a hell of an author. I very much enjoyed the 1632 series.
Ah. Oh.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
What's it?
It's basically the premise of it. They're actually, in my opinion, they're underrated books, but I really like what he's done with it because he's opened it up to tons of different people. So a ton of people have written side stories and shit in his universe now. But in this tiny little West Virginia coal mining town, basically they have no idea what, some type of, because reasons, gets sent back in time to 1632, right in the middle of the 100 Years' War.
Okay.
Holy crap.
It's about, 3,000 Americans, this tiny town. So it's not like if, New York City got sent back and then just said, fuck you, world, we're awesome. Or something like that. It's a relatively small group, so they aren't a dominant superpower, but they then begin spreading freedom, justice, the American way throughout the barbarities that exist around them. But no, they basically... No, that's a spoiler. So, anyways, they go back. They have to deal with the fact that the tech they have isn't going to last forever because they don't have the resources and the facilities to continue building it. So they use what tech they have and the knowledge that they have to to build stuff that's still better than anyone else's, but they actually have to regress technologically, but still be way ahead of everyone else. And the attitudes, and he does a lot with the social and political aspects of it, not just the combat stuff, because it's Eric Flint. So he focuses a lot on the politics and how it all kind of ties together. So it's interesting to see, all of a sudden history textbooks from the future become one of the most valuable commodities in the world as kings and princes and shit try and make things they like happen or avoid things they don't, then immediately throwing off the validity of all the textbooks. Some of them, like Richelieu, are smart enough to know that. Some of them, like the King of England, are total fucking tards and don't really get the concept.
You hear that, Hacks?
Yeah. He logged out a couple minutes ago.
The King of England at the time was a fucking tard. So, he really does try and... The actual real people that... or historical figures that he uses, he does try and simulate them well. Although, obviously, there's artistic license and, it's alternate history.
Sure.
So, I very, very much enjoyed that series. There's 1632 and 1633, and that kind of deals with... because originally people want to fucking smash them. But, haha, America, suck it. Not gonna happen. So, and then in 1630... That's 1632, them kind of coming to terms with it and figuring out where they are and what's going on. Because it's not like they go back in time and everyone's like, oh, amazing, a time shift, we're in 1632 now. No. They're at a wedding, and they walk outside and they're like, huh, those cottages weren't here before.
Strange.
Huh, those fuckers are wearing armor and swinging swords. John, get your shotgun. It's interesting.
America.
And then 1633 is about stabilizing the whole thing, and then 1634 is about kind of the larger geopolitical consequences within Europe during this time period of having 3,000 21st century Americans just show up in the middle of the 100 Years' War and basically tell everyone else, ha 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 ha, we know things you don't, So, it's pretty cool. I very much enjoyed that.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool premise. I kind of like the idea of one of the things I've kind of seen in fiction is, especially when, because history is written by the winners, oftentimes this is the perfect opportunity to redefine how you see a certain person in history. And then we find evidence where it's just like, no, that's not how that was at all. Like
what do you mean?
So for example, we look upon the founding fathers as these perfect, people, and then we find
use your next words carefully.
I know,
yeah, careful
I know.
here, careful.
I'm saying, but then you look at things, for example, where it's just like, well, George Washington was concerned about slavery, but at the same time, it was like,
he had slaves.
I have slaves, yeah.
Yeah.
But we like to whitewash certain people in history. One of the other examples I can think of is actually MLK, which is unfortunate, but he apparently, there were documents, I think, recently from the Kennedys where Jackie Kennedy, I think, or wait, what was her name? It was Carolyn Kennedy, his wife, right?
No, Jackie was his wife. Carolyn was
Jackie,
like
okay, yeah,
Carolyn
so
was
Jackie,
like 4 years old at this point. So
that's
that
right. There's the daughter. Sorry, I got it screwed up. But yeah, so apparently at the funeral, at JFK's funeral, she was not that happy that MLK was there because he was known for drinking a bit and womanizing, and it kind of brought down the party a bit, or the morning
wake
period.
yeah
the wake.
I don't think that's exactly what you wanted a week. That's what I want at my wake.
Yeah, but at the same time, but we look at at him completely differently, and in some way it kind of dehumanizes him. MLK was a guy. He was a guy just like
I don't think that's necessary. I don't think you're wrong. I think it's natural to, especially when you look at guys who have become symbolic of a message or a movement that you focus on the message and not the man.
Right.
With MLK, I think that what he did and what he stood for would be so much more important, and I think most people do. So you tend to, like, I knew that he was a drinker and a womanizer, but you don't really think about that when you think of him. You think about the positives that he stood for.
You think of nonviolence. And
you think of nonviolence, you think of
great.
Desegregation, you think of the civil rights movement, and those things are so much bigger than the fact that the dude liked a little whiskey.
Right.
Because, who doesn't? And then you talk about, to bring up your other example, George Washington,
Definitely apocryphal with the whole cannot tell a lie and...
and all that. There's tons of, I don't want to call them, I don't know, legend around George Washington.
Right.
We look at him as a bright and noble figure, and I would argue that he is, despite the fact that...
when you read his writing, there's definitely a lot of noble ideas there inside.
Absolutely, and most of the Founding Fathers were like that. Were they human? Yeah. Did they make mistakes? Yeah. And if you judge them by the standards of our time, you could also fucking call them monsters. But they aren't from our time. The Iroquois knew George Washington as the town burner. Because they wanted no part of the colonies and the new America, and he said, "Well, ha 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 ha. Here's my
too bad.
Yeah,
we fought for this place. It's ours. We deserve it."
Well, they launched some raids, and he burned some fucking towns.
Yeah,
but Georgie wasn't a dude to fuck with. So but and then you look at the slavery issue. Yes, a lot of the Founding Fathers were concerned about slavery. George Washington had slaves. He was concerned about slavery. In his will, he actually manumitted them upon the death of his wife, which, now you look at, well, how easy was that to do? He's already dead. At the time, still a fairly radical act. You always, when you look at these guys, any type of historical figure, you have to look at them in the context of their time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said, nobody's perfect. People are people.
Yeah. I just think it's real interesting that, so none of that stuff was ever discussed in history, which at the same time it puts them on a pedestal, which they definitely deserve, I think, for what they actually did. But at the same time, I like seeing when there's a bit of humanity involved too. I'm like, in the end, this guy is just like me. He just achieved greatness. And,
despite his
very
flaws.
wise. Yeah, despite the flaws, exactly.
Yeah, no matter what, he's still George fucking Washington.
Yup.
So. Zenith asks, what is this stream about? Baroness, want to answer that one? Because we've wandered a little bit afield there.
Just a tad.
All right. Well, this particular show on the stream, now we're part of the RivalCast Media Network, so there are a bunch of different gaming shows that are available. They stream live throughout the week, so you can see Did the as yet unnamed gaming show come up with a name yet on Monday nights?
If they have, I've not heard of it.
All right.
I don't think.
I was watching Monday and nope. Yeah, they just.
Well, it used to be WoW Uncensored. It's now the as yet unnamed gaming show Uncensored on Monday nights at around 10 o'clock ish. Storytime with Dia on Tuesday nights. Baron Busts on Thursday nights. That's my significant other. And then RCM On Tap comes on Fridays. We're sort of a round table that kind of introduces you to the different staff and personalities at RivalCast Media. And we go and sit around and have drinks and talk about different topics that come up.
Mini drinks.
Some nights are definitely heavier than others. Like when I'm reading Olive's comments in chat, I definitely have a couple more to do.
And that's just the way he likes it. He wouldn't have it any other
Exactly,
way.
Nope.
exactly. He's getting us ready for Sunday show, which is Ghost in the Podcast, which is the other show that we are part of. Where we talk about different horror stuff. And then after On Tap on Friday nights is Varyar's show, the RivalCast. Yay, our flagship show.
Woo!
Huzzah!
See how cool and calm and collective he is. Just a total, gentleman and badass.
It's Friday.
Indeed.
It's Friday.
Ugh.
It's all good.
Indeed.
All right. Felicia Fox says, "Hey guys and gal, hello Felicia.
Sup?
Welcome to our
Howdy.
stream.
Welcome.
Paleo Master. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Paleo Master, what?
Says he's been digging the Killing Floor. We've been playing a lot of Killing
Yes.
Floor lately.
Yeah, we have been playing a lot of... Well, you guys have, at least.
Oh,
Yep.
right.
Come on, Bio. You want
We
to
got,
join
we
us.
got a full house tonight. This is pretty awesome.
Yeah, welcome all.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
excellent.
this particular show, we're talking about alternative history in fiction and Killer Mention 1 in games. So, yeah, that's what we're currently talking about.
Chat has
All sorts of shit.
I
chat
really
has
thought,
interesting,
Varyar, I really thought you were going to go with Fallout. I really was.
Really?
I love
You thought so?
Fallout.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I absolutely love Fallout, don't get me wrong. But I had been focusing more on the book aspect as opposed to the game aspect.
I totally get you.
No, Fallout, you guys know, Fallout's probably one of my top 5 series of all time.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
them.
I mean, I even wore the Nuka-Cola
Nuka-Cola.
Quantum. Yeah,
I need one of those now that I
yeah,
see
you
that.
do.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Now that I've seen it on TV, that is the shiz night. Yeah, well, another good one, since you're talking about fiction, though, is that novel I was talking to you about, the Bioshock novel.
Really?
Did you get it?
Yeah, did you? I mean, I've had it for a while.
It's on my Kindle list, but I haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah, it's real good because it sets it in that that 50s time period
Nice.
when they first envisioned building Rapture and such,
Mm.
and then the people who helped make it happen, and then of course how it falls to crap. Because spoiler alert, if you play Bioshock, it falls to crap.
Hey, Varyar, have you played Bioshock lately?
Yeah, and it's awesome. I want my own underwater city. Duh. Paleo's celebrating being done with finals. Uma Moore's still in finals.
Yes.
Yeah, she sounded out of it last night. Jesus Christ.
For our college people, congratulations! You've almost made it through another semester. For those of you who still have finals next week, and for those of you who have finished your finals for the week,
Could you say it's kind of like a final
cheers
countdown?
to you!
Cheers to
you. Do-do-do-do-do.
Had to know it was going to happen.
All right. Yeah, I think I'll pick that book up after. I'm reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland right now. I'm pretty certain that Dodgson was on a very, very, very heavy acid trip when he wrote that, because wow. I mean, I've read some weird stuff before, but wow. So I'll pick that up next. That would be another interesting alternate universe.
Mhm.
But yeah, not one that I'm sure that I would want to visit. So
No, probably not.
anyway, moving along. Our next question, and it's kind of Bio. You had the perfect segue for this earlier, and then we killed it. But if you could,
Yeah, that's what I do.
If you could, well, no,
I create and destroy.
If you could create your own alternate history, what would you change, and how would those changes affect what happens next? So
That's a complicated fucking question.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jesus.
Okay, wait, rephrase one more
guys,
time.
Who came up with those questions?
Rephrase it one more time.
That'd be me.
So I can
Rephrase it?
say it again.
One more time.
All right. If you could create your own alternate history, what would you change, and how would those changes affect what happens next?
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought I heard it right. I just want to make sure.
We're forcing you to think of the implications of what said changes would make. So if you went back into your own past and decided that, well, instead of being, an emergency management major, you were going to study I don't know, basket weaving instead. I'm pretty sure that would have
Always
some
an
pretty...
honorable trade.
It is an honorable trade, especially in Ohio.
Another train.
Let's go. Woo!
Yeah,
I was
sorry, it's
wondering
hot
what
as
the
shit.
hell
All the
that
doors
was,
are
like-
open.
All the doors are open.
The door and the windows.
Well, yeah, because you don't want him to die.
Yeah, it's hot as fuck.
We weren't
Oh,
kidding.
it's 80 degrees. Mwah.
It's 80 degrees with like 115% humidity killer.
Oh,
Get
Yeah.
a Whamburger
I
with some
don't
French
give
fries.
a fuck. It's been like 100 degrees with the same humidity down in Oklahoma. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, but Killer,
Oh,
it
it's
was
not my show. I
warm
can't
for
say
you
that.
to begin with, all right? On Monday here was 50 degrees, and we were like, oh, this is beautiful. And Tuesday, we were like, 63? We have 4 hours of springtime. This is amazing. And then you know what happened? Fuck you, Ohio. And now we're living in it.
The atomic elbow, brother.
We
On the
seriously
pay-per-view.
went from like 63 to like 87 in the course of 12 hours, all right? With no thunderstorms, because why would we have a thunderstorm when Baroness is expecting and looking forward to a thunderstorm? Why?
And the one thing that would stabilize the atmosphere a bit.
I
for
know,
you.
right? I could
Ridiculous.
not figure out yesterday. I was mentioning to the guys before the show. At work, we have this satellite feed in our resource center that we have to. We're supposed to have the news or something of that nature on, and I hate it because it just attracts the old people, and they hang outside my because we have glass doors to the office.
That is
Are you
ageist.
ageist? You're ageist, aren't you?
That is ageist.
You're damn
Not
right I
okay.
am, and you know what?
Not okay.
Listen,
what?
if I have to sit through another sensitivity seminar, I know who I'm blaming.
We fired Misty, and we finally got around to changing the locks
You
in
only
the
thought
office,
you
so I don't
fired
think
her.
she can come back in unless you keep leaving the window open outside the fire escape.
See,
Don't
so
think
you're,
I didn't
climbing
notice
through, All you
that.
see is like a pink blur, like, oh no, she's
God.
back.
She's gonna be like breaking into the place, like, you know, Mission Impossible style. You'll just hear this clatter of like, you know, one of the vents falling down, and you'll hear this. What's that? Oh, Misty's stuck in the ceiling vent. All right, well, grab the broom. Let's push her back out. Anyway,
Jesus
She gets
Christ.
stuck and she's just like throwing flyers from the
what the
grate.
hell were we talking
Not
about?
okay.
I was
Not
talking
okay.
about the. Oh, we were talking about the weather.
Yep.
All right.
Let's actually get back on topic to the actual question.
Back
Wait,
on
topic?
topic. That sounds
I
like a
know,
lot of
right?
work.
It does sound like
That sounds like a lot of work. Can I just like pay for some DLC where we get back on topic?
Yeah, so it's only $2.99.
Yeah, $2.99 microtransaction. I'll do that.
Do they take Bitcoin?
Yes, they
Yes.
do.
Then I think we're in business. All right.
So who wants to go first?
Killer, I think you want to go first because you volunteered bio last
Okay,
time.
I guess I'll go first. I think an interesting alternate history would be, what if we, instead of like cutting the Apollo program,
Oh, stole
Offer.
mine.
oh, did I steal yours, Bio?
It's all good.
This
It's
is
all
what
good.
happens
I'll come up with
when
another one.
we just hang out too much because we start.
I'll
I'll come
thinking
up with
along
another
the
one.
same
Keep
terms.
going, Killer.
Okay.
Go on with your bad
maybe,
self.
maybe we can combine ours together. I always thought maybe if we didn't cut off our program so early after Apollo, was it 17, if I'm correct?
17's the last one, yeah.
Thank you. If we
Unless you're a
continued
conspiracy theorist. 18, they totally saw a UFO on the other side.
Exactly, or they got killed by monsters, according to that one horror movie.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk to Ghost in a podcast about that one. I was thought maybe if we hadn't, the NASA actually had gotten the budget they actually requested to continue their program to expand their space program. I really could have seen us actually having a moon base, but actually has a large presence there. Maybe not so much a colony by 2015, but maybe like a very, very large research center. We probably have already landed on Mars and explored there. Maybe have a small outpost, but
For sure, we'd probably be doing the asteroids. by now.
Well,
Having that mining
probably.
asteroids.
Maybe and I could have our space chickens on their little space tethers. I'd be okay with that.
But I'd be wondering what other consequences we have besides just purely knowledge and research and everything. Maybe the Soviets continue pumping more money into their own program,
Right.
and then instead of just having the battlefield of geopolitics just on Earth, now it's in space.
Yeah, there'd be the implications because space is kind of like the ocean, where it's a free zone.
Exactly.
Thus far, according to
for
treaties. But what happened if both? Because China's now planning to land there as
Exactly.
well. And we've seen the way they've kind of bumped heads with their neighbors over borders and such. So.
They're just people are going to start taking over asteroids and like
Right,
planting their
just like,
flags,
oh, this one's
is my
mine. If you don't
colony.
like it, I'll throw it at you. I'll just make sure it drops on top of you.
Yeah, but you kind of have that problem right there. Someone who has the technology to get rid of an asteroid can basically wipe out the entire life on Earth.
Hold the whole planet hostage.
Exactly. So you might even see a pressure on the entire world to kind of unite together to prevent such a incident from happening. So you might actually have
one of the
united-
Gundam series had a cool kind of final scene where that happened. Yeah, asteroid coming in, and all of the mechs from both sides are like slamming themselves into it and putting their thrusters full power to divert it.
That just doesn't sound like it do very much.
Yeah, well, it
No.
wasn't a huge
Obviously, you
one.
need to land on the asteroid and drill. Duh.
Then blow it up with a thermonuclear device, because it's the only way to be sure.
Right, because
you're Bruce Willis,
as we
though.
all know, if the world is in danger, only Ben Affleck can save us.
Exactly.
Bruce Willis
And
saved
somewhere
us.
out there, Baron has been triggered.
Bruce Willis was the one who saved us. Okay, he shoved Ben Affleck
Well,
back in the
Ben
little
Affleck
thing.
was still there, though.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
listen, at the end of the day, yes, Bruce Willis saved the day.
Oh, well,
But you've got a young, heroic, very talented, good-looking, phenomenal actor figure that actually made it back to Earth. Someone has to be the face of the program. Ben Affleck saved the day. I mean, that's how it's going down in the history books, and I think there's a certain justice to it,
The
really.
sad thing about all this is I don't think we can say that the comments said by Varyar don't represent RCM Corp.
I actually liked something that.
Oh, God damn it, Baron's not even in the chat anymore. Shit.
No.
God damn it.
That was the whole point.
He'll listen to it later, and you'll get.
He
phone
probably
calls.
raged out and like
It's all
hit the
good.
next button.
It's all good. Well, it's funny because when you guys started picking on hacks, it was literally like a minute after he logged out too. So it's like they know it's coming. They're just like,
Wow.
yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
We
We're
did
out.
stop talking about people, so they stick around.
Stick around
Be
for a
nice.
while.
Yep, be nice.
3 a.m. local. Yeah, that works out.
Yeah, I might be a little late for him.
Something Zenith mentioned earlier, though, and I as soon as I saw it, I started laughing. But and I'm assuming he's referring to Varyar, but he wrote a few minutes ago, "I love the red-bearded Viking. I have Viking blood in me myself."
Get him.
Nice.
So
nice.
my alternate history, okay, we can keep the space thing. I like that, but Varyar, because we've talked about him being a pirate of the Disney Cruise Lines before. I mean, there was this whole thing about how that would
It's
That is
work
true.
out.
amazing.
That is true.
Varyar is
It's gonna be
now
all of us.
a
but
Viking
Redbeard the
pirate
pirate, yes.
in space. Viking
Space
pirate
pirates.
in
You mean my
space.
life goal?
Yes. Yes.
I was super excited when they had that whole EM drive news. I was like, yes, I get to leave. Like, warp drive. I'm
Is
like,
there a
I'm,
test you have to pass before you go?
Ashley, I'm putting in my notice. I'm going to go be a starship captain. But Edge is not allowed to
Oh.
drive.
Oh! Ba-da-da-da. Wow!
Oh.
All right, Bio.
Yes.
What is your alternate history?
Even though I stole it from him.
Well, no, there's
He's gonna
several.
go back in time to 5 minutes before you said that, steal it, so that he can take over
and
the show.
disconnect Killer's internet just for like 10 minutes. No, I was kind of thinking of some of the implications of if the Cold War, because I mean, people have been saying for a while the Cold War is back on, but it's so interesting to read of the different times where there was always kind of the system in place to determine when to launch the nukes without Moscow's direct orders to do so. The same for America, at least at one point. And you read so many times where, like, there was one instance I'd read where all of them, except for the XO on a Russian sub, voted to pull the key, or turn the key and launch. And thankfully it turned out that their readings, or I guess they had lost contact with Moscow or something, and they just assumed it must be a nuke. But thankfully it turned out to not be true, and therefore he was the one vote that stopped the launch from happening. And, in a way, he's a hero for doing so, because he let common sense prevail. But I've always wondered what would happen.
We could have lived Fallout.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but there's also an audio drama I read, wow, that didn't make sense. I listened to, but I did read the script for, called The Last Broadcast. And it was really cool because it was actually like, I don't know if it was a high schooler's project or what. But it's set in, I believe, either the 60s or 70s. I'm trying to remember the time. It's irrelevant. But anyway, it was a Canadian broadcast of what happened if suddenly Russia spilled across the line in East Germany into West Germany, and it turned into tactical nukes and then real nukes and etc. And it was all played from the perspective of you being at home listening to the radio. Like, you could be in your car or something, you're hearing this stuff, like it starts coming in. There's been news that there's some action in over there at the Berlin walls, stay tuned, blah blah blah. I always thought that was really cool. A really cool creative decision for them to kind of go through what they kind of thought would happen. And of course London gets nuked, and nukes headed for Canada and America, obviously, and etc. But yeah,
that kind of reminds me of the very first serious books I ever read. It was a book called Team Yankee by Harold Cluley.
Huh.
And it talked about like the first 14 days of World War III from the perspective of a armored combat team called Team Yankee. And at the very end, they're talking about several cities getting nuked. And several tactical nukes have been deployed, so it kind of reminds me of that. So, But of course, it was written back in where everyone was talking about, when World War III happened, this is what probably would happen back in the 80s, because everyone was expecting it to happen. So.
All right, so maybe I misheard.
Yeah.
But it seemed like Bio's alternate history ends up with the world of Cinder, which seems very morbid.
Kind of
well,
does.
it's one of the things that kind of got me into studying emergency management. Was obviously saw 9/11, saw the changes there.
Right.
I've always kind of been fascinated by Cold War history. In terms of, people, you had citizens being trained basically foolishly. Of course, what else could they do?
Duck and cover.
But, to duck and cover. Like, if you get under your desk in the middle of a bomb, you'll survive. And it's just like, depends on where it's at. It depends on where the explosion happens. I'm sorry.
It depends not at all. Nuclear bombs do not give two fucks about your school desk.
Right, no, but I mean how far away from the blast.
Oh, well, but the desk has nothing to do with that. That's just proximity.
No. Yeah.
Get under your desks, children, in case what? The thermal pulse is allergic to wood?
It's like, oh no! Cheap linoleum! My arch rival! But yeah, and I know South Park kind of made fun of it, like, they did their own duck and cover with the volcano, and of course the lava went over and killed everyone.
Exactly.
But yeah, there's just this futility that they were trying to teach people that, there's a way to survive. Like, they had people outside, like, hit the ditch, cover yourself. It's just like, meh.
The only,
so.
I mean,
if you
the
see
only
the Flash,
advantage,
you're in trouble.
Yeah, if you see the Flash, you're fucked. Pretty much. But, I mean, the only advantage to getting under stuff would be the pressure wave. If it shakes debris loose, if the ceiling comes down, then maybe your desk saves you.
Right.
But if you can see the
they
Flash, just say hello to God for me.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going.
Exactly. Although, I remember someone made someone actually, like, the Fallout character from the logo with the guy holding his thumb out.
Yeah, Vault Boy?
Vault Boy, exactly. everyone's, why is he holding up his thumb out? Like, so in actuality, the reason why he's holding out his thumb out because it was said if you could put your thumb over the nuclear explosion, and if your thumb covered all of it, you were relatively safe. That's why he's got his eye closed and his thumb out. But if it's,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's kind of an Easter egg, but from the logo itself.
Right. Yeah. Now, if it were terms of something I'd actually want to change, historically, it'd be not canceling the Constellation program. I'm sorry, that was the one thing I'm not going to get politics involved, but that was a decision I was very angry about compared to any other, because, finally, we're going to go back. We only went there a couple of times, and then we just stopped. And we're finally going to go back, and no.
Yeah.
And now they're bringing it back in some other form now, and...
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Well, they brought the capsule back, but I don't think they're talking moon presence at this point.
No, they're still talking near-Earth orbit.
Ugh.
Yeah.
This is why I call for Elon Musk to beat them there, and then just declare the moon yours. There you go.
Yeah.
Dude, just make it profitable. If you can prove it can be profitable, then fuck the rest of them.
Yeah, everyone will jump in.
Yep. You'll see Boeing and Raytheon making fucking space yachts.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's big mining rigs and whatever else.
That's what I kind of like from watching a lot of stuff from Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's talked about several reasons why we haven't gone back to space. Is basically, there's no money to be made from it.
No. Well, I mean...
I realize this is nerd heresy, but fuck Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well,
fuck him in his stupid face.
But I can understand why some of the points he's made. It's like some of the reasons why we stopped going. So, there was no threat from external forces that force us to step up to do something, or there was no profit for it. No one saw any profit for it. So it's almost to show, we can make tons of money from this. Everyone's going to jump on board, and all this technology will arise from it, and something like that. But I can understand why, Varyar, you hate Nick deGrasse, and apparently he's kind of a dick and everything.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing, too, is that a lot of the stuff we had to do. So one of the things that's always been brought up in terms of spaceflight is that we came back with technology we didn't have before. Obviously, one of the more... I don't recall if it was the first. It was definitely among the first. Integrated circuits was used for the Apollo guidance computers. There was no demand for it necessarily. Everybody thought, well, having punch cards and a computer that takes a giant room, I mean, that's just the way things are. And then it became, well, we need to be able to calculate things with really good accuracy from inside a capsule.
Yeah.
And that kind of, drove the CPU to happen, at least in a smaller scale. Yeah, so, I don't know. It depends. As long as we have a demand for something, sometimes we don't know it, then yeah, there will be a reason to go to the environment where the demand is greatest to make said invention. I know one of the things NASA's doing currently is they're doing a lot of inflatable technology, making space stations that are way cheaper and not as heavy, because they can just inflate the modules once they get up there. Yeah, it's kind of cool they actually do some of their tests live when they kind of do balance testing and all that with it.
I know, I don't know if it's the same technology, but a few years ago somebody invented, it's a similar idea, but it's for emergency shelters, for like when people are in hurricanes and things. Like it's the inflatable, and then it hardens once it hits air. It takes like 12 hours to harden, but it's like concrete afterwards. So I wonder if it's a similar idea. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
All right.
Alright, I feel like I should address this real quick, just because I'm annoying people on the
you are
chat.
Annoying,
Fuck
Varyar.
off. Fuck off. The whole fuck Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then in chat they asked about Bill Nye, and I said fuck him too. My issue is not... I mean, look, you want to say dumb shit on Twitter, that's your lookout. It's not about astrophysics, those are his personal opinions. People say dumb shit all the time. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that they I'm all for scientists being popular and respected in culture. I think we need more of that. In my opinion, most of the people who are popular and famous are fucking retards that shouldn't be given the time of day, let alone our attention. But all the fanboys and fangirls around these guys that have no interest in actually reading anything sciencey and think that going to a site like ifuckinglovescience.com or whatever the hell it's called and favoriting a Hubble picture makes you a nerd. Fuck you.
Yeah, but can you blame
so
them
much.
for that? Or is it more
Yes,
of
I
like
can, because they
or is the
encourage
internet
it.
bandwagon that we've kind of made for ourselves?
Well, there's that too. I mean, we could talk all day about bandwagon and mob culture and how much I hate that.
Yeah.
But I get encouraging people, even a little bit is better than nothing in the whole science debate. But go out and actually read a goddamn article. Please, I'm begging you. Don't just, I saw this video about how Coca-Cola could dissolve a battleship. I fucking love science. Shut up. Just shut up. No, you don't. No, you don't. You love Kim Kardashian. Don't lie to me. But that's my little rant.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It's weird. Yeah.
But that's more of a gripe, I get. All right, so
I still don't fault
I'm taking
the
my rage
scientists
out
for it.
on them, but it's my gripe. Or against society in general, I guess, but not the point. What the hell now? The cement tent?
Yes.
What is this?
This is the thing I was talking about a minute ago, where
Oh, that's cool.
they take it and
Nice.
it was designed specifically for things like around Hurricane Katrina, where they go into like these completely demolished areas and they can just roll this out, and in like 12 hours later you have this concrete, very, very stable shelter, they can just take there, and now people have some place to be that they're protected from the elements. I thought it was pretty
Yeah, that must have been inspired by FEMA's lovely trailers that sat there in Arkansas for... They're still there, as far as I know.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Like, yeah, just like formaldehyde all in them now, and yeah.
Olive
What
says
is it?
vaccines are evil. They're causing the death of millions of viruses. Viruses are people too. I actually saw something. I had to run out on an errand today for work, and when I was coming up at this intersection, there was a pharmacy on the corner, and they had one of those big blinky LCD displays, and it had an advertisement for whooping cough shots, sold here. And I remember looking at it and thinking, whooping cough, that's one of the things that they kill you off with in the Oregon Trail. So should I be wearing a bonnet, or what? How have we not eradicated this? Oh, wait, we did. And then people decided, oh, vaccines are bad. Let's
don't need these
bring this
anymore, 'cause-
back.
Let me ask you, Baroness.
Oh my God,
have you
Throwback
caught whooping
Thursdays
cough
with
before?
the old school, We're gonna make this a thing. Throwback Thursdays, instead of those stupid pictures of you doing dumbass things, we're gonna bring back viruses and diseases of old.
You guys remember what I miss?
Wow.
Polio.
Polio.
It was
It's
the
coming.
best.
Hey,
Although-
Varyar, guess what? It's
Wow.
making a comeback. Yeah,
That's because
Oh.
people are stupid.
they are.
Although,
they are. They really
That makes
are.
me wonder, maybe what if there's an alternate history where we didn't cure all these,
Oh.
diseases and everything? What would the
We're
world
gonna
look
find
like?
out in about 10 years, Killer. Just hold tight. Just hold tight.
All because, wasn't it a porn star that started this
Jenny
whole...
McCarthy.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I was
Yeah.
mistaken for her the other day.
Oh, God.
Yeah, which I was
Alrighty
going to
then.
make an anti-vaccine joke when you did that, and I just said, no, I'm just going to
I was making anti-vaccine jokes all afternoon. I still don't understand how that mistake got made, but whatever.
Look, get your shots. I mean, Varyar got shots that none of us got, and he got them in probably a less pleasant fashion.
Yeah.
With that
Anthrax
pressure
or
gun.
smallpox come out. Fuck you, I'm good.
So, the Marines say.
Yep.
That's good. So,
Derp-a-derp-a-der.
while you're going through chat, what would you change in your history?
I honestly don't know. I've been thinking about it this whole time. I hadn't thought of specifically killers. I had thought of bios, with the Constellation program. That was really the only thing I could think of that I would change, because while, recent stuff I'm not thrilled about. We still don't know all the ramifications of it, and America's still on top, and I'm pretty good with that. So,
America.
I mean, I don't... I really got nothing at all. Although, if you want to... Alright, this isn't something I would wish for, but I would find interesting the ramifications of it. What if the South was able to secede and become independent? What would the world look like? Because, I mean, slavery as an institution, I think, in the long run was economically doomed anyway.
Sure.
But if there wasn't a United States of America, but a US and a CS, what would that do? How would things be different? You know, because, you know, I mean, people talk about the Confederates like they were the root of all evil, but they weren't. They were, yeah, I mean, slavery, obviously, evil institution. But for a lot of those guys, I mean, a lot of the guys that were fighting, they weren't fighting for slavery. They were fighting for their home.
Yeah.
It was for states' rights. It was, you know, for, in their minds, and this goes back to the thing that, you know, most villains are the heroes of their own story. No matter how monstrous what they end up doing, they tend to have reasons, maybe reasons we think are horrible, but in their own minds, they're not the bad guy. What would that world look like? You know, is the USA without the Confederate States as powerful as it is today? Probably not.
One of my hopes that spring break never happens ever. The first spring break doesn't happen.
Oh God.
I have no context.
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. There's just been a lot of complaints from people about spring break. Like, it's getting worse, like, even harder drugs are ending up on beaches and stuff. There's been, like, rapes out in public, and it's
people are retarded.
Stuff. Just, like, do not support spring break. Have it in your own way. Do something fun for you, but don't do the whole going out to a beach and, I don't know,
Whoa.
Tijuana all at the same time, and...
Well, what's wrong going to the beach? During spring break?
It's what these people... It's when you get enough stupid people together on one beach.
Well, they're being stupid then, and they should die. Oh, that's right.
They deserve to die.
What if we actually had a history where doing something stupid would instantly kill you? How would history change?
Everyone would be dead.
Yeah,
we
there'd
would
be a lot of dead.
Nobody would exist. Nobody would exist.
I suspect that the cockroaches would take over.
Oh, shots fired. Lyserg writes in chat, what beach do you have, killer?
Oh, I think the beach we're talking about is your sister.
Wow.
And it went there.
Bringing Candy or whatever the hell her name is into this.
Candy with an I.
That's just cold.
It
well,
went
that's
there.
how you know she's a whore. She's got an I instead of a Y.
Exactly.
Holy
crap, we've been going for how long?
An hour. Yeah, an hour 10.
That's a little bit more than an hour now.
No, it's 10:48 right now. We started at
10:38, didn't we?
No, it was 10:39.
Wah.
It was 10 because we had the pool going, and it was actually 10:38 when 9:38 when I started the music.
Okay.
And the music is 2 minutes, so.
The Varyar variable remains a constant.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. Well, nobody seemed to want to answer that question, though, Varyar, so.
That was a tricky fucking question.
It was a tricky question.
So,
no,
Baroness,
I
what
meant
would
your
you
question.
change?
I meant your question.
I think the world would be a much darker place personally, but who knows?
Well, I mean, the country as we know it right now wouldn't even exist because so many of the states
Well,
came up after the Civil War, so...
Right. I mean, obviously that's true, but I mean, if you also look at the role that America has played in the world in the last 150 years, you know, all of that would be different too. Do Japan and Germany lose? Do we get involved? Because if America, instead of being one big-ass country that's starting to flex their muscles on the world stage, is two smaller countries that maybe aren't so much, maybe Japan doesn't attack. Maybe the Nazis do take down Britain. You know, maybe they sue for peace with Russia, because General Winter's always going to win that one, probably. Yeah. You know, maybe the Axis achieve at least a limited victory.
Right.
Maybe the Cold War never happens. Russia just takes a dominant place. I mean, there's tons of hypotheticals that would change because, love America or hate America, no matter what your view of America's actions are, you can't deny that the last 150 years have been Pax Americana. I mean, that's just what it is. The entire. Well, I mean, if you actually look at history, politics, and economics, the entire current world order is built on American dominance. Economically, politically, I mean, that's just how it is. Now, I personally obviously think that's a good thing, that overall the positives outweigh the negatives. Other people have different views, and I think they're wrong, but I think they at least can argue it from their perspective. Obviously, things have been different for different people. Mm-hmm. I checked my privilege, it's super fucking high, so...
Jeez.
I mean, obviously there's different views of that, but it's an interesting question because it's one relatively small change that impacts everything.
So much, yeah.
So, Baroness, what would you change in history?
See, I'm stuck with Varyar because the domino effect of making one little change just affects so much else, and it's like, we've kind of had this conversation before. It's like, how responsible is it? Even knowing that you could doesn't necessarily mean that you should.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When we were talking about this question originally, I was thinking that we meant like our own personal histories, which again, the same thing falls under play. It's like, well, if you change one thing, okay, well, maybe one instance is a little bit easier on you, but it affects everything after that point. There's a reason that we go through the stuff that we do, because it sets us up for what happens next. So, yeah, I don't know that I necessarily would change anything.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at everything from the perspective of the narrator anyway, so, if you were writing this story, well, if you change this, how does it affect everything that happens afterwards? So, which is, going back to the fanfic, something I'm having a problem with when I realized I wrote in a continuity error that I'm having I need to fix it in order for things that are coming up to make sense, but at the same time, it's like the easiest way to fix it changes something that actually affects the storyline for the rest of the thing. So it's like, well, which way do I go with it? Because it has to change, but yeah.
Do what Marvel and DC do all the time. Just retcon it. Just do that. Retcon
it.
Or build an alternate universe where that particular thing didn't happen. So now you have multiple universes to write in.
We've already got an interesting enough universe to write in. I don't think I need to add any alternate dimensions to it on top of everything else. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Porkchop says, I would change the history of Johnny Appleseed mostly because I hate apples.
Wow, really?
Olive says, I think I should probably read this full out before I read it on air.
If it's the
anytime Olive writes something that goes into multiple lines, you have to check it first.
God.
Olive writes, you could go back in time and change it so that hurting someone's feelings is illegal and everyone has to carry a privilege card that lists their privilege on it with them at all times.
Oh, God.
Already headed there. So that's what happened. Someone went back in time and started changing stuff.
No, fuck that shit.
Bio!
What?
Oh, wrong way. She got hold of the TARDIS!
Misty got a hold of the TARDIS,
bitch.
that's what happened.
Okay, we need to go back in time to before we hired Misty so that we can change the rules for how we hire and fire people ahead of time so that we don't have to have the meeting where she's already there and we can't get rid of her and then have... So you see what happens, people? You see what happens? It messes with things. It messes with everything. Anyway.
I don't know what to say now. I'm just blown away. It is all Misty's fault. All of it.
All of it.
I just can't even. I just can't.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
that
move on.
was
That's all
our
we can
last
do.
question, and now I'm just so. I
Well
don't even know what to do now. I don't even know what to do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great night and everything, so we'll catch you later.
Stay tuned. RivalCast is up next. You get your second dose of Varyar for the evening, and from
Yay!
everyone here
Woo!
at RivalCast Media. Cheers.
Cheers.